We have Susan Unger, Ilyana Raffa, Craig Mataski, and Ann Strout from Connecticut DEP, and I'm not sure, it looks like Susan's starting us off. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks to Jeff for wrangling all us cats together in one room successfully, I think. And thanks again to CTWIA for hosting this event. So why do we do inspections? Because the Clean Water Act says we have to. 40 CFR Section 123 deals with state issues and state regulations. So we are regulated under the Clean Water Act just as the rest of you are. We conduct inspections for 4 reasons, of course. We want to determine compliance or non-compliance with your permit. We need to verify the accuracy of the information that you sent to us. We need to verify how you got that information that you sent to us. And of course, we want to protect surface waters and public health with that cute little girl on that manhole. Favorite slide. Now, types of inspections that we do. We do compliance evaluation inspections at the plants. These are comprehensive and designed to verify permittee compliance. We do not do sampling inspections. We rely on the Newipik Interstate Environmental Commission District to perform sampling inspections of the major POTWs that discharge into Long Island Sound from Greenwich to New Haven, I believe. We also do sanitary sewer system inspections where we look at your SSO incident reporting, think sewage right to know. We look at your budgeting. We review your Cmom plan if you have one. And then with combined sewer system inspections, in addition to those that we do for sanitary sewers, we look at your CSO outfalls. We want to ensure that your signage is there and correct. We look at your 9 minimum controls, your long-term control plan, and that's usually all bound up into order compliance steps. So let me go back. Collection system inspections. Why do we do collection system inspections? Because a standard NPDES permit condition is that the permitted wastewater owner or operator shall properly operate and maintain all facilities and systems of treatment and control and related appurtenances which are installed or used to achieve compliance with the permit. It's those related appurtenances that are your collection system components. What is the Cmom program? The Cmom program itself is not a regulation. It was developed as a tool to help municipal facilities evaluate your system's management, operation, and maintenance program activities. The principles in the Cmom guide are applicable to every collection system. The goals of Cmom: to reuse resources efficiently, to deliver excellent customer service, to protect your employees, and of course, to comply with the Clean Water Act. Efficient use of resources. Cmom plan can help you optimize your resources by shifting maintenance activities from reactive to proactive, saving you lots of money due to overtime, reduced emergency construction costs, fewer lawsuits, issues like that. Excellent customer service, of course. The Cmom approach helps the owner or operator provide a high level of service, and it helps improve communication relations with not only your stakeholders, the public, but with your neighboring municipal works, regional planning organizations, all the environmental groups we deal with, and your friendly local regulators. Of course, goal number 3 is protect your employees. You've all heard me talk about the 2 sewage workers found dead at the bottom of the Pennsylvania manhole, where their compatriots were down the road and didn't think to check on them until noon. And yes, they were dead. The most recent one came across my desk a couple of weeks ago. Man found unresponsive in a Faribault manhole, and I did Google that name, Faribault, Minnesota. He had just started his shift. It was 7:30 on a Friday morning when they found him unresponsive, and they airlifted him out, but he didn't make it. So, again, one of the most common reasons for injuries and fatalities in wastewater collection systems is the failure of victims to recognize hazards. A Cmom program has a very strong safety component. If you adopt nothing else from Cmom, please adopt that. And of course, goal number 4, you want to comply with the Clean Water Act to reduce or mitigate your SSOs. And of course, to reduce, let me make my notes here. Proper O&M includes, but is not limited to, effective performance, adequate funding, and adequate operator staffing and training. Duty to mitigate means taking all reasonable steps to minimize or prevent any discharge in violation of the permit. Your Cmom plan can explain how you can comply with these requirements. A Cmom plan essential, of course, is asset management. It's best described as knowing what's in your system, planning your system improvements, and implementing those plans. But of course, that all involves a lot of money. The best way to make a strong case for rate increases or for the board to authorize more spending is to have a written plan, your Cmom plan, available with detailed information. But how do you get that information? You do a risk assessment, a process to identify potential hazards, analyze what could happen if a hazard occurs for each asset in the system. You score your likelihood of the failure, and then you mathematically combine that with the consequence of the failure. I mean, is it going to be serious, like a few basement backups, or is it going to be really serious, like that force main that blows? You put them together mathematically, you have a risk associated with each asset at a given point in time. Of course, it's hard to do a risk assessment if you don't do a conditions assessment first, which is tough to do because everything's underground. CCTV is a great tool. It can clue you into structural problems, and it can clue you into operational problems. And then in addition, if you use the Pipeline Assessment Certification Program, you can provide a standardized way to document your inspections and provide information for all that budgeting and capital improvement planning. So, what exactly is a bypass? A bypass is the diversion of wastes from any portion of the wastewater collection or treatment facilities. This is in the regulations of Connecticut State Agencies, Section 22A, 433. And of course, thou shalt not bypass unless it's unanticipated, unavoidable, and necessary to prevent loss of life, personal injury, or severe property damage, and either there was no feasible alternative to the bypass, or you got prior written approval from this department. Now, basement backups. There was another slide here that I neglected to add, but I want to talk about basement backups a little bit because either they're reportable or not. It depends. The collection systems usually do not own the lateral going to the home. So if the collection system is backed up, if there's a clog in the line, if there is not enough capacity downstream, causing the collection system to bypass and get into the person's home, then that is reportable. However, if there is a clog in the lateral that the homeowner generally owns, then that is a personal property issue and that bypass is not reportable. I saw a system just last week that owns laterals halfway down. Basically, they own the lateral to the cleanout. So in that instance, if the blockage is between the cleanout and the home, then the homeowner is responsible. However, since the system owns the lateral after the cleanout to the line, anything in that portion of the lateral that's a blockage that releases sewage into the home would be reportable. So, fog, of course, fats, oils, and grease is the #1 cause of basement backups. Municipalities are authorized to enforce our fog general permit. It's a critical system for the health of your collection system, should be part of your Cmom plan. Cmom inspections, well, they are SSS inspections. We call them Cmom. We really shouldn't. They are ongoing. This is the boilerplate wording that we add when we inspect a facility that does not have a Cmom plan. And I have a list of resources here available for your use. Thank you very much, folks.